Now, we spoke about Kelly Hartigan-Burns on the 16th and 18th of March and the 9th of April as Lancashire police were dragged over the coals during an inquest over their failures, which led to her death whilst she was in police custody. Now, I'll link to those other reports in the description. Lancashire police failings were deemed to have contributed to the death of 35-year-old Kelly after she had been arrested following an argument with her wife. Kelly was taken to Greenbank station in Blackburn where, although her records showed her to be a suicide risk and having suffered from mental health issues, police failed to carry out routine safeguarding policy procedure during the custody booking in process. At the time, Kelly's death was referred to the Independent Office for Police Conduct, who examined the conduct of 5 officers and 2 custody detention officers. One officer was taken to a gross misconduct hearing, but retired before that hearing took place. The hearing determined that he would have been dismissed had he not retired, and another one was subject to unsatisfactory performance procedures and management action. Well, the custody sergeant at the time, but now former sergeant, Jason Marsden, who I'm presuming was the officer who resigned before his misconduct hearing, lodged an appeal against his dismissal, but this week his appeal was dismissed. The appeal hearing was heard yesterday, the 17th of March, although Marsden didn't attend in person. Marsden's solicitor, Sarah Barlow, said custody sergeants at the time would be expecting there to be protecting vulnerable people markers on Kelly's profile, as they would also add after a call to police. Despite 8 call-outs to Kelly with concerns for welfare of her attempting to take her life or self-harming during the 12 months leading up to her death, apparently just 1 marker was on her file, placed there by British Transport Police in March 2016. She said the expectation was that the markers should be present and that it is what is expected when officers come into contact with a vulnerable person. Mr. Apthorne said during the check-in process in custody, Mr. Marsden had failed to engage with Kelly and put full stops in boxes to allow him to undermine the system. Mr. Marsden also replied no in a question about whether Kelly had any medication with her, despite her having her mental health medication with her that she had been prescribed. Mr. Apthorne referred to the Police and Criminal Evidence Act 1984, which states an officer should never make assumptions when assessing risk, and that it can be particularly traumatic for some detainees, and being in a cell can increase their vulnerability. Speaking after the decision was made, Kelly's mother, June Hartigan, said, "I am just happy that it didn't go through and that it still stands. His conduct was awful. I just can't believe we have still been here after all this time." Well, nice try, Marsden, although you should think yourself lucky, because if you were a normal member of the public, I would imagine your punishment would have been far more severe. Good old thin blue line. Big thank you to channel supporters, especially these guys. Your support is truly appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.